Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Mike AC.
I am Beaujangles.
I'm Justin Cologne.
I'm Julian Wicks.
I'm Jaemy Paris, and you're watching
The Airdrop!
Woo!
So let's get right into
Let's
it.
dig into this motherfucking
Come on, let's
shit,
talk
baby.
about it.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
bitch.
How do you guys feel about dating in gay culture? Because I definitely feel that there is a difference between your typical heteronormal dating scene compared to the gay scene.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? How
Well,
about
I'll get mine out of the way really quickly. As a trans woman, dating is different because, let's say I'm standing at the bus stop and a guy asks for my number. I'll give him my number, but I won't tell him that I'm trans until I get home and I'm at a safe distance. Because you never know how people's going to react. So dating is kind of, for me, maneuvering around the people who find me physically attractive and then find somebody who's like okay with me being trans and openly dating, going out like to dinner and things like that. That's kind of like, it's a weird kind of scenario because a lot of guys are like so into you, they see you, they love you, blah blah blah, but they don't want to be judged by society, which is like unfortunate, but fortunate for me because now I can charge you. So there you go.
how about you, Bo?
Well, for me, it's very similar to Jaemy, but it's also a very different dynamic. Like, for instance, not the other day, it was a few months ago, a guy approached me. And of course, we were wearing masks. We're being very vigilant about our safety with life. And he was like, "Oh, I want to know what's your Instagram?" And he it was just a very weird discourse. And I was like, "Well, I'm riding this bike home. So what do you want from me?" And it's like city bike. So I'm on the street trying to get one. And he's like, "Okay, whatever." And then I give him my number. And then he's like, "Can you?" He's sending me photos of himself. And I'm like, "Okay, you're right, bro. Whatever." And so then I sent him photos of myself, and he's like, "Oh my god, you're so gorgeous. Did not know you had a beard." I'm like, "Okay, and?"
He met you in person?
He met me in person,
had a
but I had my
mask
mask.
That's
on.
for math.
So
Sorry, bitch. I had to do it for them. For the one time.
For the culture.
it was
Okay.
very confusing for him, and I was just very confused because he saw me in person, so it was very okay, my mans, I have niggas. You are just wasting 20 text messages of people. I don't text people back ever. So I just texted you back 4 times. How dare you just come back out of nowhere and just say, "Oh, you have a beard?" My mans, yes I do.
In the middle of your bike ride.
Not even, bitch. I was texting him back and forth, and at the nighttime, he's like, "I just realized you had a beard." I was like, okay.
So where did that lead to?
It led to me being I'm not gonna I don't know how to say this without being rude, but I'm not gonna make sure that your fragility is part of my narrative. So I don't give a fuck if you are into trans women. That's fine. Be into trans women. Make sure that you know which a trans woman you're trying to attract and trying to be with. Because everybody looks exactly different. You have no idea what you're going to get, especially now with the max and everything. Everything is a little more trickier, but you don't know what you're going to get regardless of the fact of who you're talking to. Right. But you were the first person to initiate a conversation. Right. Why the hell do you think that it's going to be okay once somebody has one little line of hair on their face to change something? Mm-hmm. It don't make no damn sense, but for them it does, and I respected it, and I just kind of left it alone, and I just walked away from the situation because it had nothing to do with me.
Right, yeah, it's definitely a him thing for sure.
Absolutely.
I guess it's just
Him thing.
no. I guess because I guess the situation was just some guys want a specific type of maybe trans woman who looks a specific type of way, and I guess that's. And I'm saying specific, right?
Yeah,
Am I saying that? All right, Mike. Did I say that right? Okay. But so I guess that's another thing that I guess I never really thought of, that just because a man is into
well, trans is an umbrella term. So trans, you have trans women like me, and then you have non-binary folk like Beaujangles, and then everything else in between of that spectrum. Mm-hmm. So, there may be a trans attracted man, if that's even like a term, who wants a woman who is of trans experience, but it looks like a woman, and he was hypnotized by your baby blue eyes.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? And then when he was like, oh, she's non-binary, he was a little bit turned off because he's on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Absolutely.
Because sexuality is a spectrum, but it's all about which part of femininity are you attracted to and which part of masculinity are you attracted to.
Exactly.
And we just got to take those L's sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Or smoke them.
Or smoke them. I prefer to smoke them.
I do both.
But how does that translate to dating, though, for y'all? Like... like it's one thing to bypass somebody on the street or it be a hookup, but date.
I date. Like I have men that take me out. I date. I take my mask off or whatever. Even before masking off, fuck. Like I would date, but like having a mask on is kind of it's showed me that it's maybe a little different because like up here I look maybe a little more femme, and then like down here they see hair and it's kind of like what the fuck? And that's okay. But it's a different way to intake things because before like it would be like an open, like I wouldn't have to like
you won't have to explain it because
because I meet men outside. I don't go I go on apps to like talk to people, and sometimes I don't even talk to them because I don't even answer my own text. So I don't even answer them. So like for me to meet people outside is very often, and it's like. Now that it's like a mass shit that you have to hide shit, it's just too much. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand what happens when you enter the system of gay dating.
Well, I'm ZL, so as a trans woman, I feel like I'm a out of state hotel suite kind of a chick. So I feel like, listen, I don't want to meet your family. I don't want you to meet mine. I don't want to run into none of your friends. I don't want to run into none of mine. So I'm going to meet you in Idaho, where I'm the hoe, and we're going to get it poppin', and that's it, get it poppin', take me shopping, I see you when I see you. Mm-hmm. I don't like to deal with that because I understand the pressure that society puts on cis men who are attracted to trans
women. But do you want more?
I get it. Do I want, not at this point in my life, no, but maybe one day I do, you know what I mean? And then I'll just have to settle for what I could get. But I'll cross that bridge when I have the money for the toll.
Okay.
That's just how it is. Like, I navigate that way because I just don't want to be put in a position where I feel like I got my feelings hurt falling for somebody who doesn't want me to know his mom or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just kind of feed him with a long spoon.
I feel like gay culture has put so many stereotypes and stigmas to the forefront of getting to... with dating in a hetero culture, it's easy for someone to fall in love. It doesn't become about gender. Mm-hmm. Okay? It becomes about the relationship that you guys become and you guys build and blah, blah, blah. And you automatically kind of assume, not even assume, but already know the masculine and the feminine energy of the relationship. What gets difficult within gay culture is the masculine and the feminine energy in gay culture and then dating. And when you meet someone and you date someone and you kind of already have that pre-notion of who they might be or who you want them to be. Right. And then you go down the line of getting to know them
they're not exactly that.
And they're not exactly what you kind of had this. And it's almost like, I'm sure trans women and men and who, however you identify yourself, we are a fantasy to some of these people.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I might sit across from a man and they might fantasize about, wow, he is this and that and he's got all that. And then you date me and you get to know who I really am. you figure that person out. And then it's like, does that falter that fantasy?
A little bit.
You know what I mean? Does that is that at some point something where you're like, okay, he's not someone I want to be with because I thought he was X, Y, and Z, but he might be more of a feminine person than I want him to be.
Well, that's the thing,
I
though.
fall in that sorry.
Well, go ahead, right?
I fall in that category because and then I start meeting guys and then it's like, okay, now I have to tell you about that I'm Hannah Montana and I do drag. And now it's a whole nother conversation. It's like, okay, I had guys be like, okay, so are you thinking about transitioning? I'm like, no, this is like my job. Like, this is how I make money. I'm an entertainer. I'm a dancer first, but, I got into the drag world, and this is what I love to do. And that's a whole nother thing that I have to introduce to someone that I'm dating, because it's just, you know, a guy wants what he wants. Her. I have dated guys who, which I thank you, Jesus. Shout out to, you know who you are. I've dated guys. I've dated guys who admire the fact that I could be a superstar, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so crazy how you could be Justin and then on stage you're this person. Like thankfully had those experiences, but that's not common. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it sucks because you could be the same. It's almost like when you come out to somebody that's known you for your whole life, and then the moment you say you're gay, they automatically assume a whole different lifestyle. Yeah. It's like, I was hanging out with you playing video games, we were having sleepovers, we were hanging out with each other, and then all of a sudden I tell you I'm gay, and now it's all of a sudden like, oh, well, I can't have you over anymore. It's like, nigga, I've been gay before you even, I even came out. Like, you know what I mean? So even like when you're with a partner, when you're with a man or something like that, and you decide in your relationship that, you know what, I want to
explore different
like as an artist, like if I decide, you know what, I want to try drag one day, I want to try, you know what, let me put on a wig and let me get into my fantasy for myself,
right?
And does it, like, your partner
support you?
That's the biggest thing, is like, does your partner support you in that, and is it, or are they looking at you like, I didn't sign up for this?
But that's the thing that speaks to my point. So where I was gonna go with it was just like, it's just simply cut and dry. It seems as though the basis of dating in our community is very much physical appearance. It's very much. It just
that's what dating is.
Of course, right?
You know?
Absolutely. But for us, it feels like people will choose the physical appearance over the personality every time. Every single time. And it's just like, and even to the point where people will be in relationships that they don't even really want to be, just because y'all look good together.
And
that happens so often in our community because we are so stuck on what we appeal to, you know, each other, really. We just want to appeal to each other. We want to look good in a relationship with somebody so that everybody else thinks we look good, so you can keep looking for the next person you want to actually be with.
Right.
How sad is that?
I can't relate.
But it's the really undeniable truth of how the reason why you see so many relationships.
It's very
see so many
obvious,
open
too.
relationships. And again, no shade to nobody with an open relationship. No shade to nobody who has different types of relationship. What I'm saying is that these things become more of the status quo because these monogamous relationships are so much more difficult. Right. Because we're putting them in situations, we're putting these relationships in environments that make it so much harder for them to thrive and flourish and develop because we want to stick our relationship in the club. Why is y'all should experience stuff together outside of that.
I think that actually could probably, I could just be speaking out of my left butt cheek, but I think that maybe a lot of that dynamic stems from gays or anybody in the LGBT community really being oppressed and not being able to openly express affection for who they care about. And that's why in the gay community it's so much more common to like meet somebody and like 2 months later, it's like, oh my god, the love of my life.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
Because it's just like you're so excited. My tooth. You're just so excited to like meet somebody that is, you know, that you can have a normal relationship with, but you know that society does not view your relationship.
It's like dog years. It's like for me, it's like when I think of gay culture, it's like dog years. So it's like when you tell somebody, oh, I've been with this person. Two gay males, like I've been with him for a year. It's like
oh my god,
wow, yes,
you've been in a relationship for a year.
It's crazy.
Good for you. Like it's like for them, it's like 7 years. It's like whoa. It's like whoa. Like, you know. But then you think about it, it's like a year is not that long of a time. Like y'all just braced each season together for the first time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's difficult because
now you know how cold he gets in this winter. Like for the first time ever. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, but then you have those same motherfucking people that like after you make it a year, it's like. Or if you guys do break up, then it's like, oh well, you couldn't, like, you know, there's always that one girl that's like, well, you know that wasn't gonna last, like, because that's what gay culture is, and then they move on to the next one. And unfortunately, like sometimes you just kind of know, like everyone just kind of like knows each other, like you know what I mean, like, and so sometimes it's hard. It's like even in your relationship, like with certain people, you can't really necessarily, and I've learned this too. Like, I can't get mad if I meet somebody that's been with my partner or something,
or
like
just about to get into that.
You know what I mean? Like it's like such a small world, so it's like I've had to calm myself down because it's like, oh, like
I was thinking about
yeah. So I was
like, what you mean we share dick?
Right.
Yeah.
I love that dick.
Exactly.
Like that's my
that's my dick. I mean,
it
belongs to me.
That's my nigga. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like I haven't been in a relationship in a really long time. So I was in a relationship from 16 to 24. So that's all of basically a lot of my high school time, all the way through my early 20s. I turned 21. Like a lot of major.
It's a long time.
Parts of my life.
But then dog years too. That's like that's.
So what I'm getting at is that back then I didn't have to worry about me fucking with someone that I might have to think about my friends might have fucked. You know what I mean? So in New York City, it's very am I talking to somebody that maybe X, Y, and Z in my circle have had even messed with or seen a nude? Because if I'm fucking you and one of my friends seen you nude, I'm not with it.
Oh my God.
Even as small as that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's very hard for me. So in my early years, I didn't have to deal with that because it was very MySpace, very AIM, very that when I was like committed to somebody. You know what I mean? So at that early age, we didn't have to think about these things, or I wasn't even clubbing yet. I was 16.
Right.
Then I got into the Esco's life, and then boom, bada boom, bada bam. You know what I mean? So now it's like, oh my God, okay, I'm talking to somebody, and then I see their mutual friends, and we have 54 mutual friends, and I'm like, you might have fucked one of my friends. Okay. And it's like, it's just a turn off. You know what I mean?
You know, and I've had these conversations with people before, and when I talk about monogamy, it's talking about Cinderella. It's like a fairy tale.
I like eggs.
Come on, man, dog.
Monogamy. What's that?
But that was some time ago. You know, now I am 8 years into New York City, and now I'm like well seasoned in how the gay culture is in dating.
It's like we a big ass group of shareables.
Yeah. But even like, you being not from here,
I don't want to be shareable.
You get a piece. You get a piece.
Even you not being from here, that's why I've been single since 2012. This is why I can't commit myself to someone because I can't do it. Like I literally feel like I have to go to therapy to learn how to let someone in because I've had great guys offer me amazing, beautiful love and a lot of great things that I should have taken advantage of and been with. I could have been in a relationship a long fucking time ago. Mm-hmm. And I just let it go because of my trauma of being in a relationship in New York City at such a young age. You know what I mean? Like a lot of my friends are like dating now in our late 20s. And I'm like, I've done this already in 16 to 24. 2 relationships back to back that I'm so traumatized from that I cannot picture myself including them into my equation right now because I just can't picture. I've created such a great life for myself by myself that I can't picture
somebody
me,
that
but that's not good for myself because I feel like I need some loving.
You do.
You know,
I've always said that about you.
Absolutely.
I've always said that you need to start dating again because now you're getting strung up too much on
work.
You. The problem with you is you always. We do date and we do love and you have had such negative experiences that you have damaged your heart in a sense to opening yourself back up to people. So, and I've said that too. I said, girl, you know, you told me I'm about to go on a date, blah, 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 but I think I'm a dummy because I don't blah, blah, blah. No, go on that date. Fuck it. Like, go enjoy yourself. Literally. Like, even if it's that one time, like, I think everyone deserves an opportunity to love and, like, experience that. I don't care if you met him on an app. I don't care if you met him on the train. I don't care. Like, you never know where you meet people these days. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It's like, no matter how you religion or spirituality, however you, like, karma works in mysterious ways.
Oh, I know. Karma has worked, baby.
You know?
Hello.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, I think like this. I think relationships is like as consistent as life is, right? You're gonna have good ones. You're gonna have bad ones. You're gonna have good things in good relationships and bad things in good relationships, and you're gonna have bad things in good relationships. So it's just like I feel like you got to think about the overall picture of things and just go with what is and not really allow things to stop you from the next step.
That's what I need to learn.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the hardest part. I honestly just realizing that this is such a, it happened. It's the past. It is a memory now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a memory now. It only stays alive if it lives with you every day going forward, right? So kill that shit. Let that shit just die in the past.
Yeah.
Like, you seen what is the Coco, right? If they don't got their picture up on that thing no more, they is done. They dead.
Bye.
So stop putting their picture up every motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, holiday.
Right.
Like, stop. Don't put their picture up no more.
You're right.
Non-existent. And that's just really what it got to come down to. Like, and not just relationships, friendships, all things. Even sometimes we get stuck on things we want to do as far as careers and shit. Sometimes, baby, you gotta just let that idea go.
Yeah.
Maybe you gotta just move on to the next career.
I'm great. I just feel like maybe monogamous relationships aren't for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
When it comes to relationships, you have to really go for what suits you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like me, for example, I like somebody who is like a cat. Like you need love when you need it, and then you go do whatever you do. And then that's it. You know what I mean? Because that's how I am. I'm very aloof, you know? And so when I'm dating, I like people that are like that. Like, I don't want somebody who's going to call me every day and, oh, why'd you come home late? It's like, why are you in my house? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to deal with stuff like that. So you have to find things that work for you. Like, if you're a super clingy person, then you need somebody who's super clingy. If you're somebody who wants to come home to dinner that's cooked, then you need to find somebody who likes to cook. Mm-hmm. If you're somebody that, you know, likes to come home and be alone, then you need to find somebody who gives you your space, you know. Exactly. So we have to understand that, you know, what's normal for the spider is chaos for the fly. Mm-hmm. There is no normal relationships. Monogamy is normal for monogamous people, whereas polygamy is normal for polygamous people.
Right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I also enjoy my sexual fluidity. You know, so I was even diving into my book. I was diving into my partner showed me a book called The Ethical Slut, and it dives into like customizing your relationships. The monogamy idea comes so far beyond, like, comes back to like a man has to be with a female, like, you know what I mean. Now we're in a new age where I was watching a TED talk and this girl, she put it perfectly. She's like, relationships should be like a Build-A-Bear workshop. You can't sit there and think that every bear that comes out is going to be the exact same way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You go in, you pick the hat, you pick the shoes, and that's how your relationship should be. Like, if you feel like this works for you guys, this works for you guys. If half of it works for you guys, like, it's like, it's however you and your partner customize it.
So just to speak on that though, I think the key for that to work is, I guess, the openness to the conversation. Because I think that's another thing. Right.
But that comes with trust too.
Right. Having that conversation with some people is already a deal breaker.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask certain questions like, hey, what do you feel about, would you be down for a threesome? If you ask that to the wrong person, they might think that for them, it's over. Right. Like, you just said some really real funny
Well, when so it's just right hard to ask the question.
That's what I'm saying though. So it's about being open to conversation.
I guess when you're dating in the beginning and you're just like,
you should be able to have that conversation.
In there of like what you're looking for. You know, when somebody hits you on Grindr, like, what you looking for, bitch. This is what I'm looking for, bitch. Mm-hmm. I'm looking to date you, but maybe if you want to finagle on the side. And we want to keep it don't ask, don't tell, because that's a thing.
But
too.
also, I think you should check on your relationship and come back at it like a lease. Every fucking year, come re-sign this motherfucker, recheck this shit out. Yeah. See what's going on. Okay, how are we feeling? Are we good? Should we spice new shit up? I think I need more head more often. Things like that. Yeah. You good with that? Those terms?
It's a lot of to and from. It's near and far, and I feel like it's gonna continuously be extensive. It's bittersweet because, I love that we can stretch the boundary.
Absolutely.
So I know it can get tricky, and it's a very thin rope to walk on. But you know what? I do appreciate the fact that so many people within our community can be very fluid and experience different parts of our relationship that our heteronormal couple won't be able to experience.
Absolutely. You know? Absolutely.
So,
No, I think ultimately just be happy. Just be happy, y'all.
Which happy is another word for gay.
Alright, y'all. Well, that's it, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Stay tuned. Got more for you.
Woo!